a little mystic walking down the road, selling spirit with words quite bold. He said, you're the place where the divine dwells, and it's all in the knowing, gonna set you free. Satchit Ananda gonna set you free. Satchit Ananda gonna set you free. She pointed to the north, south, east and west, spun around in circles, said, be my guest. She said, you're the place where the divine dwells, and it's all in the knowing, gonna set you free. Satchit Ananda 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 gonna set you free. I know sweet ease as I'm living, and I know I receive as I'm giving. Ooh, it fits like a glove, and it sure does feel like love. I know I'm kind as I'm living, and I know I receive as I'm giving. Ooh, it fits like a glove, and it sure does feel like love. Satchit Ananda gonna set you free. 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 I know pure joy as I'm living, and I know I receive as I'm giving. Ooh, it fits like a glove, and it sure does feel like love. Satchit Ananda gonna set you free. Satchit Ananda, you're all set. Now is the moment that never ends. Now is the moment that never ends. Now.
Good morning and welcome to our virtual Sunday celebration from the Hilltop Spiritual Center. I am Reverend Laura DiDonato, your practitioner of the day. Let's reach out to someone with a gesture of kindness today, a smiling wink, a phone call, a note on their door. We are all family, and this moment is brighter because you're here with us today. And now, after a heartfelt invocational prayer, we'll enjoy beautiful music and an inspiring message from Reverend Dr. Guy. Let's take a deep breath in and a long breath out. We recognize the loving presence, the one power that moves and lives through all of us. We enjoy the loving connection today with each other, spiritually sending an embracing hug, and also reaching out to friends and family this week. Our bonds of care strengthens us as we realize our true path of unity in this amazing life. We are grateful, joy-filled, mindful, and so it is. Namaste.
The reading for today is from Ephesians 6:13 through 18. Trust in the law of good, together by that thread of unity living through all, strong with the strength of spirit, open to clear vision in our journey and true embrace of life and reality. We are safe. Around us are everlasting arms. Let's relax our beautiful bodies, grounding our feet with this amazing earth. I breathe this sacred moment into the present, breathing in deep and breathing out long. The world is one family, and let's live together, as well as our individual path in our divine journey. Since I am a center of the world family, I bring my focus on my heart center, which is the center of my healing physical being. I visualize a vibrant ball of green energy of light, filled with love, compassion, and gratitude. This blessed energy is never ending and has the power to spread indefinitely. I spread this loving energy from my heart throughout my whole electric body, and now expanding into the room as it continues to expand into my neighborhood, friends, and family, filling them with love, compassion, and gratitude. This green ball of loving light now spreads throughout the city, the state, the nation, wraps throughout the earth and all its inhabitants. If someone is astray, I pull them back into the light. I am now at peace, never to be alone, open to lovingly reaching out to help. I am bonded forever with my global family. We are, I am, love, compassion, and gratitude. Namaste.
Hello, my dear friends, and welcome to another one of our Sunday celebrations here in the virtual world. I'd like to offer you a quote from J.R. Tolkien from The Fellowship of the Ring. All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given us. You know, I absolutely love The Lord of the Rings, and anybody that knows me or has spoken to me for more than 10 minutes knows that to be true. But you know, it's so pertinent to our theme this month, which is companions along the way. Because the Fellowship of the Ring is really all about that. It's about a fellowship. It's about making the path while walking, and those who are companions on that way, those who encourage us, challenge us, support us, those that have our back. And you know, each of us is, during this time, but really our whole life, is making the path we're walking. So I'd like to start with a question to ask you, which is this: who are your companions? Who does have your back? Who is encouraging you, challenging you, supporting you, loving you along the way, and loving you into wholeness? And maybe another question, because you know, as we look at literature or scripture from a metaphysical point of view, we also internalize it to that own dialogue that is going within our own self. And so maybe another interesting question is that internal dialogue. Does it encourage you? Does it support you? Does it challenge you? Do you have your own back? Because you know, our greatest companion is our inner guide. And our inner guide is that divine essence alive and awake within us that guides us and navigates us. And it's so easy to get cluttered with things, the thoughts from the collective consciousness that are one way or the other distracting us. And, something that I've been noticing as of late is there's been a meme, for lack of a better word, that's been out there. And I find this meme, at first when you hear it, it sounds sort of like pseudo-Buddhist or maybe neo-Stoic. But really what it is it's nihilistic, it's deterministic, it's fatalistic, and it's this, and perhaps you've heard it. It is what it is. Whatever's going on, it is what it is. But it's a fallacy just to simply base it on that, as if things have been determined already and we simply acquiesce to what is. I think in a real way, that statement takes our power away. But I also think that that statement is incomplete. And when we complete it, it empowers us. Because, nothing exists within a vacuum and nothing is predetermined. And so the correct way of making that statement is, it is what it is because. It is what it is because of an action before. It is what it is because of a thought that is behind whatever is occurring. Howard Caesar, who is a New Thought minister, says this: because thought is creative, we don't have a choice as to whether we create or not, only in what we create, by virtue of how we choose to direct our thoughts. Any person will eventually attract to which he or she gives consistent attention, energy, and focus. It's kind of like one of those laws. There are physical laws of the universe, right? Like gravity. There are societal and cultural laws like driving laws. But there are metaphysical laws as well. And like the state of California says, ignorance of a law is no excuse. And so the law that I'm talking about really is one of the more fundamental laws in the metaphysical realm, and that is the law of attraction, that we draw to us that which we focus on, that where we give our attention is what we begin to manifest in our life. Or as that great first century Palestinian teacher says, he says, where your heart is, so lies your treasure. And so let us consider then, where is your heart? Where is your attention? Where is your focus? And especially, these days right now, I'm wondering how any of us are going to stay sane over the next 2 months. We have a significant election that's coming down the pike. We're watching the pandemic beginning to resurge. We're seeing the breakdown in supply lanes. We're seeing probably the most significant thing of all, which is something that's known as pandemic fatigue, which is a sense of simply acquiescing, almost giving up. It's fatalistic. It is what is, as if we have no power over any of this. And so my invitation today is, how do we take our power back? And how do we significantly use the law of attraction to enhance our life, to benefit those around us, and to help to create a world that is working for all of us? Dr. Holmes, the founder of our particular denomination, says this. He says, every person is surrounded by a thought atmosphere. This mental atmosphere is the direct result of his or her consciousness and unconscious thought, which in turn becomes the direct reason for and cause of that which comes into his or her life. That we're surrounded by this thought atmosphere, and that what we are dwelling on consciously or unconsciously begins to form and attract this. And it happens at an individual level, but it also happens at a collective level. There's this book that I've been reading that's just really fascinating. It's by this great old warhorse occultist by the name of Dion Fortune. And Dion Fortune has written several books on metaphysics, but she wrote a book that's based on a series of journals called The Magic Battle of Britain. And what it's about is that during the Second World War, during the raids of the German forces against England and Britain per se, is that she was actually approached by the British government because she was asked to form prayer circles of her students. Now, at one level, they were using her because they knew that the Nazis were using occult practices, and they wanted to get a heads up, and so they knew that she was trained in these things, and so they worked with her on that. They consulted with her. But at another level is what she did is she formed these powerful prayer circles that were scattered around England. And she wrote these letters because there was no internet at the time. She wrote these letters, and really what the book is, it's a handbook on how to collectively imagine something powerful and new. And it's really fascinating, the work that was done and what they did, and there's a lot that can be attributed to how Britain made it through the Second World War, in no small part because of Dion Fortune and her students. And so how interesting it would be for all of us to gather at a specific time, to do our inner work, both for ourselves individually, but also to do it collectively. And what it is whether we're talking about magic or prayer, what we're talking about is how we organize our thoughts, how we treat our mind for a specific good that we are looking for. And, there's a discernment on that, because how do we know if we're moving in the right direction? How do we know that if we are treating our mind, it is working in the direction that we're wanting to go? And Ernest Holmes in the Science of Mind text says this. He says, if every day things are a little better, a little happier, a little more harmonious, a little more health-giving and joyous, if each day we are expressing more life, we are going in the right direction. And so we can easily look at our life. Is it becoming more joyous? Is it becoming more harmonious? Is it becoming more filled with life? Or is it becoming more cynical, more fearful, more condensed, more constricted? This is kind of an easy thing. We can feel it in our bodies, right? It's not just a mental thing, because we all understand the mind-body connection. Someone says something that is offensive to us and our body flushes. So we understand that there's a mind-body connection, and we can feel it. We can feel if we're enhancing life or restricting life. And I think sometimes, especially these days, our vision has become condensed, restricted. It's pulled in. We almost seem like we're at survival at certain things. And the imagination is the most important thing that we have. But if our imagination is being influenced by the collective consciousness that says things like, it is what it is, or this is as good as it gets, or we can't really hope for much more than this, or the pantry's empty, so there's not enough, or, whatever the lies are that restrict our imagination. We are noble sons and daughters of a divine race, and we are plugged into an abundant universe, and we are part of a divine entity that is always seeking a greater, more intricate, more conscious expression. And so if our vision has become restricted, if our imagination has flatlined, then maybe we need to work on that before we do anything else. Again, Dr. Holmes says this. He says, "For those of you who have always dwelt on limited thoughts, a good practice is to dwell on the magnitude of the universe." Because what we're wanting to do is create a new mental prototype. And so, of course, this is the beauty of science. This is the beauty of quantum physics or astrophysics. This is the beauty of art and literature, is to expand our consciousness. So if we begin to dwell on something like a universe that is 13 point whatever billion years old, or if we begin to imagine the multitude of stars in an expanding universe, or even on our own planet, if we can begin to think about life and how life has existed for so many million years, or the abundance of species by the thousands and the millions, or to count the grains of sand in the sea, or when we look out into the heavens at night and see the starry world, we come to a place of amazement. We come to a place of wonder. We come to a place of awe. And this expands our consciousness. And when our imagination and our consciousness is expanded, it's just a greater container for more possibilities. And so what I would like to do with you today, as you are watching this, is to share with you a prayer, an affirmative prayer. I think it's the greatest tool that we have to offer. And again, just relax. There's nothing for you to do right now, but let your imagination go off leash. And think for a moment, imagine for a moment, feel for a second that millions of years ago, life grew on this planet. But even before that, billions of years ago, something came from nothing. There was an explosion. There was, metaphorically, let there be light. Moving into an evolutionary process over eons of time and great movements within the galactic level, focusing in on a planetary level. And in all that time, the creative principle, the divine, which is love, which exists outside of time, but works through time to bring life, to bring your life, that even before the foundation of time itself, you existed. You existed as a thought within the mind of God. That you were known, that you were loved, that you were desired to come into experience, and that all that it took from that first galactic moment that we know to be the Big Bang to this moment where you and I are connected through a technology, and you are having a thought about being a center of divine consciousness within the vast whole. Just let that sit. Let that expand. Let that open up new possibilities to know that you are the idea of God made manifest in time and space. You are, as Teilhard says, evolution become intentional. You are love manifested in form. And that which creates you, sustains you, challenges you, encourages you, has your back. And so we open our mind, our thought, to be inspired and guided by this, that whatever is going on in our life, in God, all things are possible. That we don't pray to be rescued. We pray to step into the fullness of who we are, knowing that that divine thought that exists as us knows. It knows, it guides us, it lures us, it encourages us, it draws us onto this path that we are made by walking. And that we are experiencing life more full, more harmonious, more joyful. That we are beginning to understand that what we have come to do, the greatest decision that we are making now, is what to do with the time that is given us. And it's guiding us towards that. So let's just pause a moment and be grateful. To be grateful for those companions that we have. To be grateful for the life that we are living. To be grateful that we're alive, that we're conscious that we're alive. To be grateful that there's a technology that allows you and I to be together in this moment. Because when we are grateful, in this moment that we are experiencing it, we can feel ourselves expand. We can feel ourselves grow. We can be filled with new possibilities and novel imaginations. And to know that it's got our back, that it's handled, that we don't have to struggle with this anymore. We can let go. And so we release these thoughts, these words that create worlds, into the divine creative medium. And by that law of attraction, it is moving to us as we are moving towards it. And so we are grateful. And so we let it be. And so it is. So again, thank you for being part of our Sunday celebration. So next week is a very special day. It is November 1st. It's Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead. It's a time that we are virtually and also physically celebrating those who have gone ahead. And so I invite you, if you are participating in our virtual community, to before service, before you drop it and watch it, maybe to light a candle and surround yourself with some photographs of those whom you love who have gone on ahead, and maybe even think of their favorite food and have it there to spend some time together with those on the other side of the veil. Make an altar and participate. And for those of you who are able to come to the Hilltop Center next Sunday, please, a couple things. First, we're having some great music of Enrique and Jamie. We are creating an altar as we traditionally do in the fashion of Day of the Dead. So bring photographs or memories or tokens. We will provide some electric candles. We can't use flammable ones this year. And we're also going to have a picnic. And so bring a picnic lunch to share with yourself or those who you come with, and enjoy some fine music, some celebration. And you know, all of this is possible because of your generosity. We are growing because you are liking us, you are subscribing, and you are sharing the word as we continue to grow, but also you are supporting us. And I'm so deeply touched by your generosity. And I'm so deeply moved how you are continuing to do so. And so, my dear friends, wash your hands, wear a mask, and to those whom you love, and those who you receive love from, I wish you many, many, many blessings.
I hear music in the air, up above my head. I hear music in the air. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere up in my room. I hear music up in my room. I hear music, sweet music. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. Everywhere I go, I hear music. Everywhere I go, I hear music. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. All over the world, I hear music, sweet music. All over the world, I hear music. I really do believe there's a heaven somewhere. Up above my head, I hear music in the air. Up above my